The year is 2024, and humanity finds itself at a critical juncture. The world we live in is more interconnected, more complex, and more fraught with challenges than ever before. As we navigate this landscape, the clash between economic ideologies has become one of the defining issues of our time. This isn't just an abstract debate happening in the halls of academia or in the pages of economic journals. It's a battle that affects every aspect of our lives. From the jobs we hold to the prices we pay for goods, the air we breathe, and the future we're building for our children. Capitalism, socialism, and newer economic models are locked in a fierce struggle, each vying to shape the future of our world. Capitalism, the dominant force in global economics for the past few centuries, has brought unprecedented levels of innovation, wealth, and technological advancement. It has lifted billions out of poverty and created a world of abundance that would have been unimaginable just a few generations ago. Yet for all its successes, capitalism is increasingly under fire. Critics argue that it has led to extreme inequality, environmental degradation, and a society where the rich get richer while the poor are left behind. Socialism, on the other hand, has re-emerged as a powerful alternative, particularly in the wake of recent economic crises and growing dissatisfaction with the status quo. Proponents of socialism argue that it offers a more just and equitable system, one that ensures basic needs are met for all people and that wealth is distributed more fairly. They point to the successes of social welfare programs in various countries as evidence that socialism can work. But socialism also has its detractors, who argue that it stifles innovation, leads to inefficiency, and ultimately results in economic stagnation. And then there are the newer economic models, such as eco-economics, which prioritize sustainability and the protection of our planet, and the digital economy, driven by the rise of cryptocurrencies, blockchain technology, and the gig economy. These models represent the frontier of economic thought, offering new ways to think about wealth, work, and the role of technology in our lives. Yet, as promising as they may seem, they also come with their own set of challenges and uncertainties. The stakes of this ideological clash couldn't be higher. The choices we make today will determine the kind of world we leave for future generations. Will we continue down the path of unchecked capitalism, with all its benefits and pitfalls? Will we embrace a more socialist approach, with the promise of greater equality and social welfare? Or will we forge a new path, one that blends the best elements of different systems to create something entirely new? These are the questions that we must grapple with as we move forward. As we delve deeper into this topic, it's important to understand the historical context of these economic ideologies. Capitalism, in its modern form, emerged in the 18th century, largely as a response to the feudal systems that had dominated Europe for centuries. The Industrial Revolution brought about a massive transformation in the way goods were produced and traded, leading to the rise of a new class of wealthy industrialists and merchants. Capitalism, with its emphasis on private property, free markets, and competition, became the driving force behind this new economic order. For much of the 19th and 20th centuries, capitalism was seen as the engine of progress. It fueled the rapid growth of industry, the expansion of global trade, and the development of new technologies. Countries that embraced capitalism, such as the United States and the United Kingdom, became global superpowers, while those that did not were often left behind. The benefits of capitalism were undeniable. It created jobs, raised living standards, and brought about a level of prosperity that had never been seen before. But capitalism also had its downsides. The relentless pursuit of profit led to the exploitation of workers, environmental destruction, and the concentration of wealth in the hands of a few. The Great Depression of the 1930s exposed the vulnerabilities of the capitalist system, leading to widespread calls for reform. In response, many countries adopted a mixed economy, combining elements of capitalism with social welfare programs and government regulation. This approach, known as Keynesian economics, became the dominant economic model in the post-World War II era. However, by the late 20th century, the pendulum began to swing back towards a more laissez-faire form of capitalism. The rise of neoliberalism, championed by leaders like Margaret Thatcher and Ronald Reagan, brought about a wave of deregulation, privatization, and tax cuts for the wealthy. This new era of capitalism was characterized by globalization, the rise of multinational corporations, and the financialization of the economy. While this approach led to significant economic growth, it also exacerbated inequality and left many people feeling disenfranchised. In recent years, the shortcomings of neoliberal capitalism have become increasingly apparent. The 2008 financial crisis exposed the dangers of an unregulated financial system, leading to widespread economic hardship and a loss of faith in the capitalist system. The COVID-19 pandemic further highlighted the weaknesses of our current economic model, as millions of people lost their jobs and governments struggled to provide adequate support. These crises have led to a resurgence of interest in socialism and other alternative economic models. Socialism, in contrast to capitalism, emphasizes collective ownership and the redistribution of wealth. It seeks to address the inequalities and injustices that arise from a purely market-driven economy. Socialism has its roots in the labor movements of the 19th century, which sought to improve the working conditions and living standards of the industrial working class. Over time, socialism evolved into a broader political and economic ideology, advocating for the nationalization of key industries, the provision of social welfare programs, and the reduction of economic inequality. The 20th century saw the rise of socialist governments in various parts of the world, most notably in the Soviet Union, China, and Cuba. These countries implemented centrally planned economies, where the government controlled all aspects of production and distribution. While these systems achieved some successes, such as rapid industrialization and improvements in health and education, they also suffered from inefficiency, corruption, and a lack of innovation. The collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991 was seen by many as a failure of socialism, leading to a decline in its popularity. However, in the 21st century, socialism has made a comeback, particularly in response to the failures of neoliberal capitalism. In countries like Venezuela, Bolivia, and Greece, socialist governments have been elected on platforms of economic redistribution and social justice. In the United States and Europe, there has been a resurgence of interest in democratic socialism, which seeks to combine the principles of socialism with the democratic process. This new wave of socialism advocates for policies such as universal health care, free education, and a higher minimum wage. At the same time, new economic ideologies are emerging, driven by the need to address the challenges of the 21st century. One of the most prominent of these is eco-economics, which seeks to create an economy that is both environmentally sustainable and socially just. Eco-economics is based on the recognition that our current economic model, which is heavily reliant on fossil fuels and other non-renewable resources, is unsustainable in the long term. It advocates for a shift towards renewable energy, sustainable agriculture, and the circular economy, where waste is minimized and resources are reused. Another emerging economic model is the digital economy, which is driven by the rise of technology and the internet. The digital economy is characterized by the growth of online platforms, the gig economy, and the use of digital currencies such as Bitcoin. These developments are transforming the way we work, trade, and interact with the global economy. The digital economy offers new opportunities for innovation and entrepreneurship, but it also raises concerns about job security, privacy, and the concentration of power in the hands of tech giants. As we look to the future, it's clear that no single economic ideology has all the answers. The challenges we face are complex and multifaceted, and they require a nuanced and multifaceted response. The key to navigating these challenges lies in finding a balance between different economic models, one that combines the best elements of capitalism, socialism, and emerging ideologies. This balance could take the form of a hybrid economic system, where the principles of capitalism are tempered by social welfare programs and environmental regulations. In such a system, the market would continue to play a central role in driving innovation and economic growth, but the government would also play an active role in ensuring that the benefits of growth are shared more equitably and that the environment is protected for future generations. A hybrid economic system could also incorporate elements of the digital economy, such as the use of digital currencies and online platforms, while also addressing the challenges posed by these technologies, such as job displacement and data privacy. It could embrace the principles of eco-economics, prioritizing sustainability and the protection of natural resources, while also ensuring that economic growth is not sacrificed in the process. Ultimately, the future of humanity will be shaped by the choices we make today. The clash of economic ideologies is not just a theoretical debate. It has real-world implications for the lives of billions of people around the world. As we navigate this uncertain and rapidly changing landscape, we must be guided by a commitment to equity, sustainability, and the common good. One of the most pressing challenges we face is the growing inequality between the rich and the poor. In many parts of the world, the gap between the wealthy and the rest of society has reached levels not seen since the Gilded Age. This inequality is not just a moral issue. It also has serious economic and political consequences. When wealth and power are concentrated in the hands of a few, it undermines the functioning of democracy and erodes social cohesion. To address this issue, we must rethink the way we distribute wealth and resources in society. This could involve reforms such as progressive taxation, where the wealthy pay a higher share of their income in taxes, and the expansion of social welfare programs such as universal health care and education. It could also involve policies aimed at reducing the concentration of wealth, such as breaking up monopolies and encouraging worker ownership of businesses. At the same time, we must also address the environmental crisis that threatens the future of our planet. Climate change, deforestation, and the depletion of natural resources are not just environmental issues, they are also economic issues. The destruction of the environment has serious economic consequences, from the loss of biodiversity to the increased frequency of natural disasters. To build a sustainable future, we must transition to a green economy, one that prioritizes renewable energy, sustainable agriculture, and the protection of natural resources. This transition will require significant investment and innovation. It will require governments to implement policies that incentivize the development and adoption of green technologies, such as carbon pricing, subsidies for renewable energy, and regulations that limit the use of fossil fuels. It will also require businesses to rethink their practices and prioritize sustainability in their operations. But building a sustainable future is not just about environmental protection. It is also about social justice. The impacts of climate change and environmental degradation are not felt equally. The poor and marginalized are often the most vulnerable to the effects of environmental destruction, whether it be through exposure to pollution, displacement due to natural disasters, or the loss of livelihoods due to the depletion of natural resources. To address these issues, we must ensure that the transition to a green economy is also a just transition, one that protects the rights and livelihoods of all people. Another key challenge we face is the impact of technology on the economy and society. The rise of automation, artificial intelligence, and digital platforms is transforming the way we work and live. While these technologies offer many benefits, such as increased productivity and new opportunities for innovation, they also raise significant challenges, particularly in terms of job displacement and the concentration of power in the hands of a few tech giants. To navigate these challenges, we must rethink the role of technology in our economy and society. This could involve policies that ensure that the benefits of technological innovation are shared more broadly, such as the implementation of a universal basic income or the expansion of retraining programs for workers displaced by automation. It could also involve regulations that limit the power of tech giants and protect the rights and privacy of individuals in the digital age. At the same time, we must also consider the ethical implications of emerging technologies, such as artificial intelligence and biotechnology. These technologies have the potential to revolutionize the way we live, but they also raise significant ethical questions, particularly in terms of privacy, autonomy, and the potential for misuse. As we move forward, we must ensure that the development and deployment of these technologies are guided by a commitment to human rights and the common good. As we navigate these challenges, we must also consider the role of global governance in shaping the future of humanity. The challenges we face, from climate change to inequality to technological disruption, are global in nature and require a coordinated global response. However, the current system of global governance is often fragmented and ineffective, with many countries prioritizing their own interests over the common good. To address this issue, we must rethink the way we approach global governance. This could involve reforms to existing institutions, such as the United Nations and the World Trade Organization, to make them more representative and effective. It could also involve the creation of new institutions or frameworks for global cooperation, particularly in areas such as climate change and technology regulation. At the same time, we must also recognize the importance of local and national governance in addressing the challenges we face. While global cooperation is essential, many of the solutions to our problems must be implemented at the local and national levels. This could involve policies that promote local economic development, protect the rights of workers, and ensure that the benefits of globalization are shared more broadly. Ultimately, the future of humanity will be shaped by the choices we make today. The clash of economic ideologies is not just a theoretical debate. It has real-world implications for the lives of billions of people around the world. As we navigate this uncertain and rapidly changing landscape, we must be guided by a commitment to equity, sustainability, and the common good. We must recognize that no single economic ideology has all the answers. The challenges we face are complex and multifaceted, and they require a nuanced and multifaceted response. The key to navigating these challenges lies in finding a balance between different economic models, one that combines the best elements of capitalism, socialism, and emerging ideologies. This balance could take the form of a hybrid economic system, where the principles of capitalism are tempered by social welfare programs and environmental regulations. In such a system, the market would continue to play a central role in driving innovation and economic growth, but the government would also play an active role in ensuring that the benefits of growth are shared more equitably and that the environment is protected for future generations. A hybrid economic system could also incorporate elements of the digital economy, such as the use of digital currencies and online platforms, while also addressing the challenges posed by these technologies, such as job displacement and data privacy. It could embrace the principles of eco-economics, prioritizing sustainability and the protection of natural resources, while also ensuring that economic growth is not sacrificed in the process. The future of humanity is at stake, and the choices we make today will shape the world for generations to come. The clash of economic ideologies will define our collective destiny, but in the end, it is up to us to decide what kind of future we want to build. Will we continue down the path of unchecked capitalism with all its benefits and pitfalls? Will we embrace a more socialist approach with the promise of greater equality and social welfare? Or will we forge a new path, one that blends the best elements of different systems to create something entirely new? As we move forward, we must be guided by a commitment to equity, sustainability, and the common good. We must recognize that the challenges we face are complex and multifaceted, and they require a nuanced and multifaceted response. We must be willing to think critically about our current economic systems and be open to new ideas and approaches. Most importantly, we must remember that the choices we make today will determine the kind of world we leave for future generations. So, what do you think? Is a hybrid future the answer, or will one ideology emerge victorious? Let us know in the comments below.